Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television, GPTV. I'm Brett. It's Wednesday, which means it's brand new comic book day. Comics are hitting the shelves all across the world. Why not digital, physical? It's like the best day of the week because it's new comic book day. Now, I don't have the physical comics in my hand, but I've read the individual issues. So we're going to do something a little bit different here. We're going to talk about DC Comics' two rebirth releases, Green Arrow Volume 3 and Superman Volume 3 as well. Bear with me a little bit because this is slightly odd for me, not having the comic in my hands. Now, before we get into the reviews, I do want to say DC has hooked us up with free digital copies of the individual issues. So I have read it, enjoyed them, and we want to be nice and transparent as far as what we've read, as far as what we've gotten for free, and then you can make a good decision as to whether or not I'm full of it when it comes to these reviews. So first up, we've got Green Arrow Volume 3, Emerald Outlaw, written by Percy with art by Otto Schmidt, Eleonora Carlini, Gus Vasquez, Carlos Rodriguez, and cover by Juan Ferreyra. Now, I've talked about Green Arrow before in past reviews, and I've really enjoyed this series. Now, this volume covers issues 12 through 17, and Green Arrows fly and people are dying, but the media and police point their fingers at Green Arrow. It's up to Ollie and Black Canary to find the real killer of the high-profile Seattleites. They're prime suspects, a who's who of archers, including Amico Queen, and deadly Green Arrow villain not seen in years. Now, this volume's actually been really, really solid. Overall, I've loved this version of Green Arrow. It kind of gets him back to his roots, and this trade is actually really, really good. And the reason I think it's good is because it balances two things. One has a shorter story that you can enjoy in those, 5 issues, and then it also adds to the bigger picture story that Percy's taking on. The short story, I think, brings Green Arrow back to his social justice roots, and even in that larger story, it kind of touches upon them as well. The shorter version is basically corrupt cops who are taking justice into their own hands. The bigger version, well, I don't really want to ruin it, but it goes on and on and on, and I think the direction the series has gone is top-notch. I've enjoyed it a ton. I can't really praise it enough. I think this is a great kind of new direction, or really back to the roots for Green Arrow. Really entertaining, a great mix of action, like a throwback to the old days when Green Arrow was all about social justice, and introducing new characters and new villains in the Ninth Circle, which is the big picture story going on. There's also, some throw-ins from the television show a little bit, which is good. It doesn't overwhelm, and it definitely isn't the televisionification of the comic series. Instead, it just touches upon things here and there that I think goes over well. It's a great addition and slight nod, so people coming from the television series will enjoy the comic series, and folks from the comic series, well, they just won't be off-put because it'll be really, really different. So overall, I really enjoy Volume 3. Now, the art is top-notch. I mean, Green Arrow has a distinctive look to it that you're not going to find in really too many comics out there. Marvel, DC, any of the independents. This is like a distinctive look, and it's been pretty consistent throughout the entire series so far. The 26 issues out this week, and it's awesome. It's like a painted version of the art. I don't know how to quite describe it, but it kicks ass. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. I'm going to definitely recommend this. Volume 3 of Green Arrow, it's a bridge volume, so if you haven't read Volume 1 and 2, 3 is probably not the best place to go into it with, but you can enjoy it on its own. You probably just won't enjoy it as much. But if you've read Volume 1 and 2, you're definitely going to like Volume 3, and it's going to get you excited for where it's going to go with Volume 4. It's not quite as strong as the first 2 volumes, but as I said, I think it's a great bridge volume and arc that really gets things moving forward to where it all goes from here. So I recommend it. Basically, if you've read Green Arrow before, you're gonna enjoy this. So keep picking it up. It's not a disappointment at all. All right, so next we've got Superman Volume 3. This is Multiplicity, collects issues 14 through 17, and the Superman Annual. Now, this one is written by Peter J. Tomasi, Patrick Gleason, art by Joe Prado, Ryan Sook, Clay Mann, Ed Beans, Jorge Jimenez, Tony S. Daniels, Sebastian Fiumara, Sandu, Florea, and cover by Oclair cover art by Oclair Albert and Ivan Reis. Basically, the story is all around the multiverse Supermen are going missing. Someone's collecting them. So to join forces, the collective of Men of Steel must find a way to escape their cells and defeat their captor. Plus, Superman meets Swamp Thing. This volume was decent. I'm not going to say it was great. As I said, it collects issues 14 through 17 in the annual. You know, the multiverse angle of it really is definitely a throwback to old school Superman story. Not really Superman story, just Superman, but DC stories as a whole. I really enjoy when DC plays with the multiverse. This one just kind of, I don't want to say it was uninspired, but it just felt like I've seen this before in some ways. I mean, basically it's the bunch of characters having to come, you know, multiverse characters, so different versions of the same damn character, having to come together and, like, defeat some villain for some reason. That's not a bad thing at all. It's just one of those that I've seen it. And the other thing that I think, like, Action Comics and the previous 13 issues of this series have been so solid that this one kind of threw me off. Like, it's not bad in any way, it just kind of feels like we needed to do something before kicking off the next volume, which is, I think, way better. And, you know, where Superman is right now is, like, top-notch. I love the series, and it's kind of back to where it was to begin. But this one, like, yeah, I think that's the best way to put it. Like, it's not bad. It's just not quite not quite as good as what came before. The art is decent. I think that took a little bit of a dip. You know, some of it's good, some of it's not so good. None of it's bad, though. I think it's the best way to, like, there's nothing horrible about it, but we've just seen better. And I think that's the thing with this third volume, is we've seen better with Volume 1 and Volume 2, and especially what comes out with Volume 4 and so on and so forth. It's just, it kind of just feels like a lull. And the way I can describe is even though the creative team as far as writers remains the same, it feels like those fill-in issues when it went from, like, one arc to another arc of a series and they needed to do something. That's kind of what this feels like. Again, not bad, and if you really like multiverse stories, you're gonna dig this one, but I just think we've seen better, and we've seen this done better. So overall, this one's kind of an eh to me. Can't quite recommend it. I'm not going to get super excited for it, but at the same time, like, if you dig multiverse stories, if you really like Superman, you're probably going to enjoy this. Yeah, I think that's kind of where I'm at with it. And both volumes are $16.99. It's always a pretty good deal. Now, I don't have them in my hand. I'm gonna guess there's, you know, covers as far as extras. No idea what else will be in there. But when it comes to art and stories, well, there's the scoop on it. If you're interested in either of them, or comics in general, we've got some ways to help you out here. We've got a link beneath this video. That link is an affiliate link, so you know, we get a little bit from purchases through it. But before you go to the affiliate links, please use the link above, or the number above it, that allows you to find a comic book shop near you. We want you to support your local comic book shops. They need the help, and with a healthy local comic book shop, you know, ecosystem, comic publishers do well, and the whole industry thrives, so it's a good thing. So first, local comic book shop. Second, if you don't have one near you, then you can use those links below. And keep in mind the links beneath that. One of them's to Amazon, and Amazon's a week later. Things are delayed when it comes to trades for DC Comics and bookstores. So if you go to bookstores or Amazon, you're going to have to wait a week for either of these. So overall, like, basically, Green Arrow, I recommend. I really enjoy it. You know, maybe not as quite good as the first two volumes, but really solid, and it's got a self-contained story that you can enjoy. Superman, eh. It kind of just reminds me of the DC stories that didn't quite work for me. But if you're into Green Arrow, Superman, DC Comics, comics in general, you should check us out every single day at graphicpolicy.com. Of course, we're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, all at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. Before I go, again, I want to thank DC Comics for hooking us up with our review copies as always. And more importantly, since this is like the first video I'm doing with like nothing in my hand, I want to hear from you. Is this cool? Is this something you want to see more of? Sound off in the comments below and let me know, because, you know, I'm here for you and don't really want to bore you. So until next time, as always, keep reading those comics and keep it geeky. Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.